Let's get it. Wow. Really? Yeah! Hustle of the day. Yeah.
You have now entered the Airforce Mills Show.
Yo, this is Airforce Mills. I'm with my co-host, Blacksmith.
What's going on?
All right, today we're going to get right into it. Today is going to be about money. Everybody loves money. Money. Our sponsors today are Blacksmith Investment Group, Overachieving Under Pressure. And we're also brought to you today by Mills Investment Group, changing the world one piece at a time. All right, let's get right into it. We talk about money. One of the books I like to read is Richest Man in Babylon. You read the book, Smith?
That's a good book, man. I was really impressed by it. You know, the biggest takeaway I had from it was, you know, a lot of times when you read books, it's kind of dated. You know, it seems like the information is only good for that time period. But even though this book was set back in a different time, way back in the day, a lot of the principles are still relevant in today's time. So it really allowed me to take a look at how they dealt with money back then and how we deal with money today, and there's still a lot of correlation between the two. So it was real good in that sense.
Cool, yeah. That's matter of fact, that if not my favorite book, it's probably the favorite book out of my list, out of all the books I read.
Yeah.
They normally talk about the 70-10-10-10 rule. So basically, what the author discusses is that you live off 70% of your money. With that 70%, you know, that you put for your savings, you put for your vacations, your actual living is 70%. Okay, the other 10, you got 10% going to investing. Okay, you want to invest. You want to invest in another stream of income or invest in yourself, whether it be your education or investing in a class to get a trade or whatnot. So that's the 10% of investment. The next 10% is charity. Okay, if you're real religious, you know, tithing, you know, the Bible talks about 10% tithing, but giving away 10% of your money to any charity of your choosing, to your church, to a loved one, or to somebody that's in need. All right, and what that does is that puts that good energy out there, so you get good energy back. Okay, then the other 10% is debt. You want to pay your debt off because, of course, you want to pay less bills. I mean, that one's self-explanatory. But that's what they do, 70, 10, 10, 10, 10. Would you want to elaborate on that?
Well, from remembering that part of the book, you know, it's important because a lot of people wonder why divide it up into these categories or into these areas. And it's really no rhyme or reason as far as the percentages go. It's important that you invest, that you give to some charitable organization, and that you get out of debt. Those three things are very important. Everything else is really a variable. How you live your life is really up to you. That's 70%. But in order for you to maintain a certain level of growth financially, and I hope that's the point, you know, when we're talking about money, we're talking about getting from a place of, you know, a place of being flat to growing. You know, we want to focus on these other areas: the investing, the charitable giving, and the debt reduction. So just keep those things in mind when you're doing your budgets and trying to, you know, put together your financial plans.
And another book I like is Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I know that's one of your favorites. Mm-hmm. Rich Dad, Poor Dad, for those that haven't read it, I mean, basically he has a rich dad and he has a poor dad. The poor dad, if I'm not mistaken, the poor dad was his biological, right?
Correct.
And okay. So the different philosophies they had. Both of them were wealthy, but the rich dad, of course, was a lot more wealthier. The poor dad was just, he was almost financially independent. I mean, he was still well off when he broke down. I mean, so far as in middle class, he was well off middle class. Why?
The most important thing about Rich Dad, Poor Dad that I remember, it was not that they both had money.
Yeah.
The difference was one of them had to go to work and the other one didn't.
Correct.
They talked about the quadrant. There was this quadrant where you were self-employed or you were employee on one side of the quadrant, or you were a business owner or an investor on the other side of the quadrant. So the rich dad was on the investor, business owner side of the quadrant, where the poor dad was on the employee, self-employed side of the quadrant. Now, you can be employed or self-employed and make good money, but you're sacrificing your time for that income. Whereas an investor or a business owner, you have leveraged your time by either getting other employees, or you've put together a plan, or you executed a strategy in order to be able to multiply your efforts, so that you don't have as much time you don't have to spend as much time, but get maximum return when it comes to your investment or your business venture.
He also talked about there were liability and there were assets. He had another 4-box. Remember, he had another 4-box.
Yes.
One side he has your liability and assets. You break that down, and then he had income and debt.
That's right.
Okay. So you need to do that for your financial situation. You wanna lay everything out. You know? So far as in budget, me personally, I really didn't do a full budget. I would do like my expenses. I would have an expense statement for me. That way I know where my money going. I really didn't need a budget because, let's say for example, if your money comes different, if it's not set, right? You correct that. Like even if you're working a job, let's say for example, you really banged out in overtime this check. So this check is fat.
Right.
Okay. It's gonna be hard for you to alter your budget. It's not gonna be hard, but it'll be time consuming for you to keep altering your budget if your check is not the exact same every single time.
True.
So for me personally, I focus on my expense statement. That way I know where my money's going at all time. If I need to slow down on vacations, or if I need to slow down on going out to eat to restaurants, I do so, okay?
Yeah. And this is what I tell people when it comes to budgeting or focusing or putting together a list of their expenses. Whenever you're at work and you are offered overtime and you have that flexibility of making extra money, always set your budget off of your check without the overtime. Always do it that way, no matter what, because that is going to stay the same. Your 40 hours a week, or however it is you work, if you get paid every week or every 2 weeks, however it is, have it to a point to where it's fixed. And then anything above and beyond that, any overtime pay or anything that's extra, you can set up another set of budget or expenses for that money. You know what I'm saying? Whether you want to allocate it for investment, charity, debt, or a combination of the three, or anything in that matter. But your regular pay should be used for the 70% from the example that was given earlier.
Exactly.
And that way you know exactly what you're working with. Yeah. And then anything that's above and beyond that, you set aside a separate budget for those other three. So that way you can stay ahead, you can stay focused and also on point with where your money's going, and it's going where you want it to go.
Another thing I want to add to that, to piggyback off you, when you're talking about overtime, always have plans for that money as well.
Exactly.
Sometimes people get big income tax checks coming in, or something, or some winning, you didn't get scratch offs. anything,
any extra money,
any lump sum of money, no matter
inheritance
or anything. But a lot of times people don't plan for that money. Plan to the dollar. To the dollar.
That's right.
If you're gonna get $4 or $5 grand back from your income tax, plan to the dollar. You could still have fun. You could set aside for your vacations or clothing or your good timing, but plan it for the dollar. Just don't have it in your pocket and burning, and before you know it, you're wondering where all my money went.
Right, and you won't be able to get your goals accomplished, and and that's ultimately the point. If you're taking the time, and I'm sure we're gonna take time to go into goal setting and things of that nature in future episodes, but. You wanna be able to set goals and know that you're accomplishing them, and being able to allocate money, that extra money to do those things is going to go a long way toward making sure those things take place.
Yeah. You're right. And then another thing he talked about in Rich Dad, Poor Dad is very important is residual income. Mm-hmm. All right. Now, that's real big. I mean, you can get it. There's different ways you can get it. You know, real estate is a big one.
Sure.
When you're investing in stocks that pay out dividends.
That's right.
You know, and people don't realize, you know, let's say, for example, when you're buying a stock on dividends, you know, we'll do it later on the show. We'll talk about stock investment in detail. You can talk about it. We can talk about a whole nother show on actual stock investing and different strategies and stuff like that.
Right.
Stuff we do, stuff everybody else do, and whatnot. Residual income is big. I mean, because you want to set it up, you're going to come to a point where you're going to have to retire.
Well, let's do this just in case there's someone out here that doesn't understand what we mean by residual income. Let's break it down a little bit further. Okay. When you say residual, what does residual mean?
Residual is income that's continuous and ongoing. I don't like using the words forever. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? We could say it's forever as long as that investment vehicle is going. Let's say, for example, like real estate, like multifamily. Okay. Mm-hmm. Let's say, for example, you get an apartment complex. Mm-hmm. Those rents, they're going to pay you forever, as long as you have that apartment complex. Now, once you sell the apartment complex, that residual is done.
That's right.
On to the next one. But a residual income is you making a one-time investment, and that's it. Money's coming to you every single month or every single quarter, however you set up. Most stock dividends is like quarterly. So, I mean, however you got it. But that's why, you know, you want to start looking at things like that. I mean, real estate and stock, you can start off at those. Real estate is a little bit more pricier. I mean, so stock will probably be, you know what I'm saying? That'll be. Well, I mean it's a bunch of different ways to do it.
It's a lot of different ways to do it, but the most important thing I want to make sure is people understand what we mean when we say residual income. Yeah, when you put forth effort to do something and you receive income from that thing that you put effort in over and over and over again without doing any extra work. That's what residual income is. So you definitely want to put yourself in a position, however you choose to do it, you want to put yourself in position to take advantage of that as fast as possible and as much as possible, because you're not having to spend more time and more work generating more income when you do it once and it pays you over and over and over again. You want to make the most of that opportunity. So when we spoke of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, he emphasized on building wealth through avenues that allow for residual income to be possible. Yeah. You know, so you want to definitely look at ways, and like I say, we're going to get into some of those in later episodes. But definitely keep your eyes open for things like that, because it's going to change your life.
I agree. I mean, and then when you look at residual income, you know, look at retirement. Let's say, for example, you're working a 9 to 5, you know, you're looking at your 401k or whatnot. People think, you know, that money's going to last forever. Let's say, for example, you have $100,000, $200,000, whatever amount you have.
$1 million.
$1 million.
And people think that $1 million is life-changing money, and at some point it used to be. Yeah. But you look at the cost of living and things of that nature nowadays, inflation, the dollar doesn't stretch as long as it used to stretch. So you got to factor in not only that, you got to also factor in how much $1 million is going to be in future terms. Yeah. Because 20 years from now, when you retire, $1 million may be even worse.
Yeah, inflation.
So then you really stuck. So you have to start thinking broader when it comes to retirement, retirement planning. Just kind of bring it back to what you were talking about.
You gotta go wide with it.
Absolutely. Yeah. So you need to have 401ks, annuities, some sort of residual income in order to supplement any type of investment income that's coming in order for you to be able to sustain yourself past and throughout retirement, and then also, of course, you know, be able to leave something for future generations. Because to me, I mean, that's important, because I feel like we're all connected. So that, to me, that's important. If you're going to be in this world and you're going to be connected and benefit from what the world has given you, you have to be willing to also plant that seed into the next generation and give them a step up as well. So
yeah, I'm big on that.
Yeah.
Generational wealth.
Absolutely.
I practice it. I try to instill that in my kids.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's powerful. I mean, because just think about it. Put yourself in your shoes.
Right.
You know, what if you had that extra push?
Oh man.
You know, what if you had an extra $50,000
Leg
push?
up.
You
Yes.
know, you 18 years old, graduating high school, and you had that extra 50 grand
Man.
sitting in the bank for whatever, for investments or to establish your residual income.
It could be,
whatever.
Life would be changed. Life would be different.
It'd be different. It'd
It
be
would be
different for a little
definitely
18-year-old, you know?
Yes.
So, I mean, you know, your life, you know, you can live, at the end of the day, we all can live our lives how we, you know, who are we to tell you
True.
how to live your life?
True.
Have fun.
True.
But at the same time, think about your generations. I mean, think about if you don't have any kids, think about the niece and nephews.
Right.
That need your help.
Right.
And, you know, so they talk more about residual, like we're going to get more in depth in other shows, step by step on how to create you residual income. Big time on this show, what we do, we like to actually go through the steps with you. You know, if we tell you something, like we tell you anything, investing money or whatever topic we talk about, we like to walk you step by step. That way you can experience it. We don't want to just talk, put you on a webinar, and then take you what, $47.99?
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, and you don't get a benefit from it, because a lot of those webinars and conferences, I know I'm swaying off subject a little bit, but those conferences and webinars, you get all excited, because I've been there, done that. You get excited, oh yeah, I'm gonna conquer the world, you know, in 48 hours, and you back down. You know what I'm saying? The rush is gone, the excitement is gone, and you're back to square one.
Because they skip a piece, they skip a part.
Several parts.
Yeah, and you're left. You've already spent your quote unquote investment, and you're missing a piece. And in order to get those other pieces,
They upset
you got to spend some
yeah.
more money.
Yeah,
you know, so
yeah,
there's
they
another
upsell you.
seminar you got to
Yeah.
go to. There's another, you know. So it's just this.
Most of the gurus do
It's a
it.
lot of rat
Yeah.
race, but. At the same time, you know, Airforce Mills made mention, you have to do your due diligence, but what we want to do, we want to, when we break things down, we want people to be able to thoroughly go from A to Z and experience it thoroughly. So there won't be any misunderstandings. And, you know, honestly, we want you to be able to, you know, comment to us if you're having any issues or any problems. We'll be more than happy to help in whatever way possible. But we're going to try our best to make it as clear as possible when we go through it the first time, so that way you can have a positive experience and be able to take advantage of the information that we're providing.
Yeah, I mean, because understand where our heart's at. We're doing this for free. I mean, basically for free. I mean, you know, all the sponsoring money we get, most of it is going into charity, getting equipment.
Right.
I mean, or any business travel we need pertaining to the podcast.
Or reinvesting back into what we're doing.
Back into what we're doing. I mean,
Right.
yeah. So we're not getting paid. We're not getting rich from this. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So basically, what we wanted to do, we came up with this to give, you know, at least one person. If we can change one person's life, we did our job in this world.
I believe that.
Yeah. So we want to give out we want to help people. We want to give you help that we wish we had.
That's right.
We wish we had somebody on our shoulder giving us the help that we're trying to give everyone else.
That's right.
So, I mean, and that's basically it. So we're riding the ride with you.
That's right.
We're your co-pilots.
Which is important, you know, feeling when you're going through something brand new, and at first there's this thrill of being in it, so to speak. It's kind of like riding a roller coaster for the first time. It's exciting, but then when you go up that first hill, it can get kind of scary because you've never experienced it before. So when you getting at the very top and you look down, it's like, oh my God. If you look over to the right and you see somebody that's with you, you see your friend with you, you feel a little bit better because they're experiencing it with you. So when you're going down and it's getting fast and everything is moving and shaking, you know, you feel a little bit better when you know you have somebody there with you. And we're going to be on that roller coaster with you as we go through these episodes and explaining different situations and different opportunities for you guys.
All right. And so on that note, we're going to take a real quick break. Once we get back, then we'll talk about bad choices and tunnel vision.
All right.
All right. This show was brought to you today by Blacksmith Investment Group, where overachieving under pressure. And we also brought to you by Mills Investment Group, changing the world one piece at a time. All right, we're back. We're back on the topic about money. We're going to discuss about bad choices, the bad choices that we've made and some of our friends made with money. Blacksmith, what are some of the bad choices you made when it comes to pertaining to money?
The biggest thing that I see, or one of the biggest things I see with people in money, is trying to keep up with the Joneses, as they put it, or keep up with the next person. We as individuals, we have friends and family members and things of that nature, and some of them may look as if they are what we would consider to be successful, or they have a certain amount of money. But don't be fooled. You know, most of those individuals are up to their neck in debt, and their quality of life is horrible. Yeah. So don't think just because they may drive a certain car, or they may be wearing a certain pair of shoes, those things don't add up to anything. Yeah. You know, they're not adding any value to their long-term life. You have to look in the mirror, look at yourself, look at your income, look at your situation, and make certain decisions that will allow you to increase instead of decrease. And what I mean by that is put your money in places where it's going to appreciate in value versus depreciate as soon as you drive it off a car lot, or as soon as you buy it off a retail rack or something like that. People spend so much money on Gucci shoes and crap that, I mean, it's going to get a hole in it. I mean, it's shoes. You know what I'm saying? So what are you doing? You know, believe me, I'm not saying don't get nice things. Have nice things. But at the same time, don't say I want nice things and I want to have a lot of money. You can't have them both. You have to make a decision that having a lot of money, being wealthy, is a decision that you make today. It's going to take time. You look at Bill Gates, you look at Jeff Bezos, these guys didn't wake up to yesterday and said, oh, I want to start Amazon.com. No. Man, it takes time. But guess what? Those guys were committed. Those guys made choices that allow for them to be worth billions of dollars. They weren't, and you can look at them, you can look at their lifestyle and see exactly how they've lived their lifestyle. These guys they compacted their life. It's not no extravagant show. Everything is compact. Everything is real tight, because they know, especially during the building phase, you have to be able to get that thing going to a certain point before it takes off. So that's, to me, is one of the biggest bad choices that people make, is they see someone and they think, oh man, I want to do like them. Yeah. But you don't have what they have. And you haven't done what they've done to get what they've got.
10-year sacrifice.
You can't keep up with him. You have to figure out where you are and start from where you are. And then that way you can really you're not having a false sense of wealth, or a false sense of, I done made it. Hold up. Well, and don't get me wrong in this point either. Success is success. However you choose to look at it, it's relative to you. But if you're looking at another individual and you're seeing what they have and you want what they have, you got to be willing to put in the work that they put in. When ain't nobody watching, when ain't nobody looking, when the lights is turned off and candles burning because the money that you was supposed to put on your light bill went into building this business. You know what I'm saying? You gotta really put it in. You know what I'm saying? So it's easier said than done, but it can be done.
I agree.
What about you? What are some of the bad choices you see with people in the money?
I can tell you a little bit about me and a little bit about what I see. I mean, a lot of times, like we talked about, people having a lump sum, whether it be income tax, whatever, whatever amount. Yeah. They don't plan for it. Yeah. They say, okay, they want to buy this furniture, they want to go on this vacation, they want to do this, they want to do that, but they didn't plan for the dollar. So far as in me, I didn't had major lump sum of incomes come in here and there through my life, and then I can fall victim like them. I mean, majority of the time I was, I guess, I don't want to use the word smart enough, but I was disciplined enough to invest some of the big things. Hence my residual income now.
Sure.
I mean, so you have to invest. You have to reinvest. I mean, and just the expense. They have apps out there. They got download an app. To keep up with your expenses. Like I said, you don't necessarily have to do a budget. Who are we to tell you to budget your money? But you need some type of expense report. You need to know where your money going. You need to be able to look at your phone and say, okay, I spend, how much did I spend on going out restaurant food this month? Okay, I spent $324. Okay, at least you know that. So that way, if you want to cut back or continue doing what you're doing, cool.
Right.
So the test I give everybody right now: download you an expensive app. What apps you use? I don't really use mine no more. What I had Mint. Mint was one of the ones
I've used Mint before.
Just download. Just go to your app store, whatever. Whether you have Android or iPhone, you go to your app store, hit expense or hit budgeting, and see what comes up.
Some of your financial institutions have tools that you can use on their website or their application. If you bank
on your bank,
you can go. I mean, they'll have those tools on your financial whoever you
budget,
bank with.
Tools,
so it's a lot of different resources at your disposal. The most important thing is don't let your money run you. You run your money. If you need to do a budget, do a budget. If you don't need to do a budget and you can work better off following your expenses, do that. But don't let the money dictate what's going on. You be in control. You be in control of what's going on, and you'll see a better result that way.
I agree. And back on about money, I mean, let's say, for example, as I was growing up, my parents, I love them to death, they didn't teach me about money.
Right.
My parents, they taught me how to respect elders and respect myself.
Right.
So, so that's what I've learned. But everything I've learned on money, I've learned myself.
Right.
Whether it be reading a book, whether it be
making mistakes
or whatever,
yes.
trial and error. So we want you not to have trial and error and all the headaches that we have to get to where we are and where we're trying to be.
That's right.
So a good thing to have is a mentor. When I mean about mentor, you don't have to not necessarily have somebody tell you what to do or you live like they want you to live, but look at somebody that's around you, either in your immediate circle or in your city or whatever, that is or where you're trying to be successful
in what you're wanting to
be. And so now today the topic is about money. So choose somebody that where you want to be. Financially, where you want to be financially, choose somebody around you, whether it be the uncle, aunt, parents, grandparents, brother, sister, whatever. Don't be bashful. Take that person out to lunch, pen and pad, and then ask them questions about money, how they treat their money, where they see themselves. Talk about your future self in a minute. Where they see themselves in a few years.
Right.
But at least you would have some insight on it.
Right.
Or get your book. If you have nobody like that, do what I do. Go to Amazon, order your book.
That's right.
If you want a book on money, get a book on money.
That's definitely a mentor.
And have experts teach you. Why not? Why turn down getting taught by an expert?
Right. Because it's a lot of things, a lot of misconceptions about money. It's a lot of misunderstandings about how the economic system works as a whole. But just how money works and how it impacts you as an individual, you need to know, first of all, what kind of person you are and how money affects you. You need to understand that, because if you the type of person that you can lose $100 and it don't bother you, that's one type of person. If you the type of person that lose a penny and the whole world about to come to an end, that's a different kind of person.
But know what type of person
you gotta know what kind of person you are so you can deal with money a certain way, because you don't need to be so tight that you can't give where there's a need. And you can't be so frivolous with it
you can't give
where you can't build anything worth having. You can't go to the store and every time you go to the store, you're supposed to get one thing and you end up getting buying the whole store because you're just so free with the money. Somebody come up and say, "Hey man, buy this here." Okay, you can't do that. So you have to understand what kind of a person you are when it comes to money, and then be able to balance yourself in order to be able to be a better, more well-rounded person when it comes to money.
Yeah.
So that way you can get the full benefit. And having a mentor will help with that.
I mean, because that speeds the curve.
Yes.
I mean, that saves a lot of time. You know,
a lot of mistakes.
A lot of mistakes.
Yes.
You know? A lot of mistakes. I mean,
Yes.
we've made a lot of mistakes.
Lots.
You know?
Lots.
Yeah, lots and lots and lots. We can write a book on all the mistakes we made financially.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
So, I mean, basically, we're trying to save you from all the mistakes and the headache that we've made. But understand, you have to, if you want more money, you have to focus on it.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
First, you got to focus. You look at your financial situation, okay? Then you look at where you want to be. But have focus. Once you have focus, then every day do steps to take you closer to that goal.
Right.
If it's a generic, people always want to say, oh, millionaire term. Everybody, I want to be a millionaire, you know. You know, majority of my really rich friends don't even use that term.
Don't.
You know, I have friends that's worth
being a millionaire was never their goal.
Yeah, they don't even use that term. They hate that term. They don't even use that term. Only people I know that use that term, middle class and poor people.
That's right.
So
people that have never had $1 million.
Never had $1 million.
That's right.
The word millionaire.
That's right.
You're right. So we talk about bad choices, mentors. So before we're going to get into associations next, but before we get into associations, look at who you want to be, your future self. Whether you want to push pause and get a pen and pad, you know, write this down. We're going to calculate your future self. So 10 years from now, where do you want to be? And we don't want to do a generic thing, right? You know what I'm saying? I don't want to say, oh, worth $10 million.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
I want you to visualize, close your eyes, or if you're driving, please pull over or push pause on the podcast. I want you to run in the back of somebody trying to sue me.
Wait till you get to a place where you can
trying to sue me, because there's going to be that one person.
Right.
Oh, Airforce Mill, okay. But anyway, so basically, close your eyes, visualize yourself 10 years from now. Where do you want to be? Financially. What do you want in your bank account? Then take a step further. What type of clothes you have on? What type of car you drive? What color is the car? 10 years from now. We're going to do 10-year, 5-year, and 1 year. Okay? This is what I want you to do. 10-year, 5-year, write on your pen and pad. 10-year, box 10-year, 5-year, and 1 year. 10 years, we start 10 years, we're going to reverse. We're going to reverse our way back.
I think it's better to do it that way.
Do it better, you know, because
it allows you to dream. Exactly. It allows you to really
dream and stretch.
Will be what you really want to be. Yeah. And nobody can tell you what you're gonna be in 10 years. So whatever it is you want to be that. Yeah. Be that. Because when you get to 1 year, it's gonna really get tight. Yeah. Because a year from now is a lot closer than 10 years from now. So be what you want to be 10 years from now. Yeah. The exercise will allow you to see, wow. You know, it'll allow you to see the journey. And
it'll show you that it's possible.
It's right. Oh, man.
Okay. So once again, you know, close your eyes, visualize what you're wearing, what kind of car you have. If it's a sports car, if it's a luxury car, what color it is, what type of car, how's the interior, what type of rims, if you want rims, what type of vacations you want to go. Exact. Don't just say, I want to travel the world. You know, if you want to go to Colombia, what city in Colombia?
Right.
Where are you gonna go? Or we going to
what food you want to eat? What food you want to eat when you get there?
What type of food you want to eat? Everything to the T. To the T. How you want the sky to look.
Right.
Coming out your villa or whatever you choose to be, how do you want the sky? What smells? What aromas around you? The animals, the birds chirping. Who's with you?
Who's going to be with you?
Who's with you?
10 years from now.
10 years from now.
Right.
Okay? Then do the same thing for 5 years from now. Do the same thing for 1 year. Now, how it's set up, the 1 year should set you up for the 5 year. The 5 years should set you up for the 10 year. So do whatever tweaks you want to do.
But make sure you do the 10 year first.
Exactly.
Because if you do the 1 year first, you're going to be scared.
Yes.
And this is not an exercise in fear.
Yes.
You need to dream. Yeah. You need to explore. You need to have fun with it. You need to enjoy it. You need to really be like, wow. I mean, think about the most far out thing you can think of.
Anything.
Whatever
bucket list,
bucket list, whatever comes to your mind. 10 years from now, I wanna be on a private jet flying to an island that I bought, and I want to be able to go to the house that I built on my island with my maid service. You know,
whatever you want.
There is no limit to what it is that you can put on your 10 year or your 5 year or your 1 year. But do it in the 10-5-1 order so that way you can really expand your horizon.
And do every day move a step closer to that.
Period.
I mean, move a day every day. When you look at your 1 year, you already did your 10. You look at your 10, 5, and 1. Put it on your wall. Put it in your car. Put it on your, on your phone as a reminder, on the background of your phone, background of your laptop. Have it everywhere. That way it consumes you. And then that way you take baby steps, and before you know it, snowballs into something material.
Because what's going to get you to your 1 year?
Well,
every day. Doing something.
Every day. 365 days. To get to your 1 year of all that you want, you got to do something. 365 days.
What's going to get you to your 5 year?
Well,
every day. Doing something.
Every day for 5 years.
What's going to get you to your 10 year?
Every day for 10 years.
Every day. Doing something toward your goal, whatever it is you're trying to accomplish. And then 10 years from now, when you're able to look back and you're experiencing what it is that you wrote down on that paper.
Oh, it's hard.
How powerful would that be?
It's hard.
Oh man.
It's heartfelt.
It's amazing.
It's heartfelt.
It's an amazing feeling.
I mean, and it's heartfelt. I mean, because we've done it.
Right.
We've done small things, major things, and we wrote it on a piece of paper and it materialized. And you go back and look back, whether it's your dream sheet, dream board, or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I was amazed. I'm like, man, I really did this. I set out to do this, and I really did this. And it makes you feel good. It makes you feel like, that you're succeeding. I mean, because we're hard on ourselves. The masses may say, that we're successful, but in our eyes, we're lacking. And that's just human nature. It's not just something that's in you. It's just, human nature is to be hard on yourself. You're your worst critic. So it is what it is. But as long as you're having a happy life, you're doing right by people and helping others, keyword helping others.
Right.
You're on the right track.
That's right.
And so another thing we'll get into is about association. Okay, this is real big. Now this took me some time to understand. Association. When I was in high school, I was kind of popular. You can say, well, I guess I was.
Sure.
Everybody knew me. So
that's popular.
So I had 326 people in my phone. 302. My call log had 326 people.
Now this is before social media, y'all.
Now, this was not.
Keep in mind, this is.
It's way. It's way before social media. So, way before Facebook. So I had 300 on a little flip phone. I had me a little flip phone. Flip phone.
Contacts in the phone.
Contacts in the phone. I had 320 something people in my phone. Okay. In saying that, I only talked to 10. Maybe 10. Maybe 10 out of that 320. And what do you think happened to them? Our paths went astray.
Right.
And it's not that we got mad at each other. It's just that our lives didn't line up.
Right.
For us to keep in contact.
Well, in the future. Now, our paths cross at some point.
Well, of course. That's why I'm using my phone. But
any future endeavors, it just didn't line up. It's not a right or wrong or who's all that. But
so basically, in saying that, you have to have friends in different categories.
Right.
And I know people may say, this seems kind of mean and yada, yada, yada. No, it's essential, and you'll see once I finish, then you understand where I'm going, okay? You have to have friends. You have to have a group of intellectual friends, okay? That's friends that you have deep conversation to run your mind, deep thought. Challenge you, deep conversation. You need to have friends that you go party with. You want to let your hair down. You want to go or vacations,
right.
Vacation friends or friends, business partners.
Right.
Like me and Blacksmith. We're friends, but we're also business partners.
That's right.
So, you're going to have investment friends. So, but understand, label your friends in different categories. I know this may sound mean, but label your friends in different categories and then allocate the right amount of time.
Right.
For what you need. So let's say, for example, if right now, if you're focusing on your money, you're focusing on your income. I know it may sound mean. Don't hang with your broke friends.
Right.
Don't hang with your friends. Don't spend a lot of time with them.
Right.
If you're in your money, if you're in your hustle phase right now, if you're saying, okay, the next 5 years, I'm just gonna get my grind on and stack as much money as I can to invest and just change my whole life. Right. And build residual income, Do not hang with the broke friends.
Right.
Because all that's going to do is that you're going to do what they do. You're going to start blowing your money like they blowing their money, and you're going to get it all back into that cycle.
Right.
And understands, last time I looked, was it 67% of America live check to check.
Oh, yeah.
67% of America. And if you listen to this, you live check to check, you can change that today.
That's right.
We're going to give you the tool. And on the hustle of the day later on, we're going to give you the actual tool for you to make money starting today.
That's right.
It's not too many podcasts, none that I know, that can give you some information and you make money today, starting today, and make money. There's probably none that I know. There's probably somebody out there, but none that I know.
Not free of charge.
No.
That's
right
for
about
sure.
that. So allocate that. So you got to have the different friends and whatnot. And then the reason why is because you're on a different journey. If you're on a vacation journey and you want to travel the world, you say, okay, the next 2 years I'm going to travel the world. Hang with that friend that likes to travel as well.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? Because that way it won't stray you. Because us as human beings, we get easily sidetracked and distracted by TV. I don't watch TV. I got TVs around. I'm cut on TV, a year? So, I don't watch TVs. And I'm not saying that I'm too good to watch, to not watch TV. What I'm saying is that I fill my life with so many different things that I don't have time to watch TV. And if I had a choice between spending time with my family, mentoring somebody, or building my business, or building my growth, or doing other investments, I'm going to choose that over TV any day. I used to be wrapped in all these shows like everybody else, 5 different shows, about 5 different shows.
Binge watching.
Yeah, you binge watching, and then when look at it.
I don't
look at it. Now, let's break it down, y'all.
Right.
Okay, you work 8 hours. Let's say you're working a 9 to 5.
Right.
Okay, the masses work. So I'm gonna talk to the middle class and the people work 9 to 5 because that's what the masses is in America. Okay, majority of the people are. So let's say, for example, okay, you doing your 9 to 5, right? Okay, that's 8 hours.
Right.
Then you got your little 30-minute commute in between. Average 15 to 30-minute commute, right? So that's 9 hours that you away from your family and doing what you love. That's 9 hours, okay?
If you're lucky.
If you're lucky. Okay, then you got maybe the boss wants you to do a certain project, overtime. Okay, let's say you do another hour.
Right.
So let's just say you do 10 hours working, an hour, 30 minutes each commute, so that's 11 hours, right? So you still got to sleep.
Right.
You still got to get ready for work and do it all over again. Mm-hmm. You still got to run your errands, go to the bank, you got to eat, got to go to the grocery store. So that gives you minimal time. That may give you 4 to 5 hours of really grind time. You maybe only have 4 or 5 hour window in your life to build a business, build yourself, and make yourself grow. The problem is that them 4 or 5 hours that everybody have, because I hate when people tell me I don't have time. When I ask people, did you read this book or did you do this? Or I don't have time. No, you have time.
Yeah.
You just occupy yourself with the wrong thing.
That's right.
You have 24 hours in a day, so you have time.
That's right.
You're not going to be doing something for 24 hours. So you have time. I just hate when people tell me, oh, yeah, I've been meaning to get to it. I'm just busy. I don't have time. No. You don't know what busy and time is. So the 5-6 hours that you're spending on watching TV, that you can spend that growing yourself, growing your business, growing yourself financially. Even if you cut it in half, we don't want to go cold turkey. You want to see the next power or the next empire. Empire's getting good.
But guess what? If you want to build your own empire, you can't be watching Empire.
Exactly.
Because Empire, they making money.
Exactly.
You the one watching it. You making Empire rich. You need to be thinking about how am I gonna create an empire for me and for you and your family.
Yeah. Players, you got to be a player in the game. You can't.
That's right.
You can't be a fan. You can't be a spectator all the time.
Right.
I mean, every now and then you want to get your popcorn and watch
Sure.
the players be on the field, but at some point, before you go in the ground and pass, you need to be a player.
That's right.
You need to be a player in something.
Right.
Okay, with people looking at you.
That's right.
So that's, we talked about associations and stuff. So we're going to take a quick break once we get back from the break, and then we're going to hit the hustle of the day. All right, today's show was brought to you by Blacksmith Investment Group, where overachieving under pressure. And we also brought to you by Mills Investment Group, changing the world one piece at a time.
All right, we're going to start the hustle of the day. Right now, if you guys have your computers, or if you don't have your computer, I want you to stop what you're doing, go and log on real quick. We're going to go through a process to get you guys started in an online business. If you guys are interested in doing an online business, it's very important. We're going to go through some steps for you to get that started right now. No money down. We want to see you with money in your pocket right now. If this is something that you're not interested in, you're more than welcome to the information. But, right now we want to talk to those individuals that are really looking forward to getting started right away. So, but right now you guys should be logged in. If not, go ahead and get that done. You can press pause and come back to it. Okay, you guys should be up and running right now. If you could, log on to YouTube. And once that's completed, I want you to type in this link. It's going to be www.youtube.com/watch WATCH V as in Victor, the equal sign, B as in boy, capital X as in X-ray, C as in Charlie, Z as in zebra, capital H as in Harry, capital K as in Kimberly, G as in George, capital P as in Paul, D as in David, R as in Robert, W as in William. All right, once you pull that up, you're going to see the title is basically how to create a Shopify AliExpress dropshipping store with Oberlo. Some of these you might not be familiar with these particular names, but basically you're going to create an online store and you're going to be able to select different products to market anyone on the internet, which anyone that's in business and you have something for sale, you want to expose as many people to your store and to your products as possible. And there's nothing better than the internet. So what I want you to do, this particular video is going to walk you through step by step. You're going to need to follow these steps verbatim. It's a 36-minute video, so it's not extremely long, but if it's important to you to get this thing going, it's going to be worth it. You're going to go follow these steps, and it's going to set you up. And what we're going to do, we're going to follow up this video with, on next week's episode, we're going to follow up with, and we're going to talk about products that you're going to implement on your store. And then after that, we're going to go into further detail as far as marketing is concerned. So you guys enjoy this video. And like I said, feel free to give us any comments, any suggestions, anything like that. We're going to be on YouTube, Facebook, all your social media. If you have any questions or concerns, like I said, we definitely want to give you the information so you guys can start today fulfilling your dreams and getting started. So we're looking forward to seeing your success.
All right, and that was Hustle of the Day. Every day I'm hustling.
Every day.
So I hope you guys love today's talk. I mean, it's about money. I mean, that's what people like. Who doesn't like money and extra money?
Right.
We use money as a tool. We don't really focus on having money to spend. For me, money is a tool for freedom.
Period.
Simple as that.
Simple as that.
So thank you guys for joining us. Until next time, like we talked about the different books we like. Check out Richest Man in Babylon. Check out Rich Dad Poor Dad. If you haven't, go to Amazon. You can go to Amazon right now. Pick them up for $10.
Right.
Talked about the different bad choices people have, about mentors, about your friend association, and the most important thing. Not only do the hustle of the day if you want to generate some income, but the 10-year, 5-year, 1 year.
Future self.
Future self. That's very important.
That's very important.
If you don't get anything out of this, at least get that.
That's right.
At least get that. So thank you guys for being with us. Until next time.
See y'all later.
Yo.